Hey guys, me Dave. It's 12/26, 2022. So it's Monday night. Monday night. Can't wait for New Year's, you guys. I'm gonna get a good buzz on and try to enjoy myself. I would love, we used to go out and party at the bars and everything else with a group of us, and I miss those days. I miss seeing cute girls at the bar and flirting with cute girls when you got a buzz on and all this stuff. I miss those days. I'm too old for that now. I'm gonna be 50 here in May, but I miss going out. I miss my friends. I miss my life. And those days are over with, as far as I can tell. Unless it stops, unless they really bring this out, which might happen next year. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But so I went to Derek's call and they're talking nonsense and talking about Trump and they talk about the past all the time. They talk about the past. They talk about conspiracy theories, things to discredit us. These people have to talk on. They have to talk on talking points. These perps have talking points they have to hit on. They talk about child molestation and rape and trafficking and all this stuff, and that's what these perps hit on. They have to hit on these talking points when they talk. That's what these people get paid for. That's what they get paid for when they're on these calls and stuff. That's what It's a control group. And everyone who talks is part of the control group. There could be lots of TIs on these calls, you guys. They don't talk. They don't talk on these calls. They listen. They laugh at these nonsense perps. Like we don't know, like we're dumb and we don't know they're perps. They actually think they're fooling us. But if you go on Facebook and everything else, people are talking about these perps all the time. And all that stuff. So anyway. Okay, so I want to talk about handling yourself. Are you able to handle yourself in this program? Is leaving the country the right choice? Is leaving the country the right choice? Trying to run away from this. Is it the right choice? I know Brian too talks about leaving the country is the only way you can function and survive this program. The only thing I would say to that is that Brian too is he can handle himself. He can handle himself. He knows where he's going. He knows the countries. I mean, he's been around the world so many times, and he can handle himself. He can take care of himself, is what I'm saying. He's back in the U.S. and he confronts perps and he can handle himself and all that stuff. Okay, he ups on these calls. He upped on the call tonight and he's not afraid to confront these perps because they're hurting us and killing us and everything else. He's not afraid to confront these perps. Okay, now some people want to leave the country that may not be able to handle themselves very well. Like Kyle. He's a little guy. Do you think he could handle himself in a situation if somebody was up there confronting him, wanted to fight him and all this stuff? If he left the country, could you sleep in a room with a bunch of people at a what do you call that? Not a hotel, but it's I can't think of the name, but if you're sharing a room with a bunch of people and you're in there with a bunch of perps, do you think Kyle could handle himself? It scares me to think that Kyle wants to leave the country and he thinks he can handle himself and he thinks that's the best choice for him. I don't think that's the best choice for him. I'm just saying my opinion. I don't want to see somebody get screwed over and have nobody there that that can help you. Brian too is a different story. He can handle himself. He's a big husky guy. He will get in your face if you are threatening him and all this stuff. I think he can handle himself around the world. He knows where he's going. He knows where to go next. He has a little bit of money and he can take care of himself and get out of the situation if he has to. Somebody that is making $1,000 a month that leaves the country, you might be trapped there. They might trap you there, and you could be in a lot of trouble if you leave the country. So I'm not saying anything either way, you guys. It's your choice. It's your choice, but you gotta have some kind of emergency fund. Um, have some kind of emergency fund, to where if you are in a bad situation, if you decide to leave the country, and they have some asshole there confronting you and wanting to fight you and all this stuff, and you're in a foreign country and you don't know what to do, or you don't know where to go or anything like that, you got to have an emergency fund to hop on a plane and get the hell out of there, or get the hell out of there and get back home, where you know people and you're surrounded by your family and everything else. So I'm just warning you guys. Is leaving the country the best thing if you don't have a lot of money? You gotta have an emergency fund, if you do decide to leave the country, so you can fly somewhere else and try to outrun this. Well, we know you can outrun this and all this stuff, and you got to be able to handle yourself in these situations, because they're going to provoke you. They're going to try to get you to fight people, and they're going to do stuff to threaten you in your environment and all this stuff. I'm saying be careful. If you decide to leave the country and you think you're going to outrun this, you're not going to outrun it. It's going to follow you everywhere, and they got gang stalkers everywhere in every country and everything else. So be careful out there. I'm just saying be careful, out there, and be careful out there, so you don't get yourself in a worse situation. And I worry about people when they think about leaving the country and all this stuff. Brian Two's a different story. He can handle himself. He has a little bit of money, and he will get in your face if he needs to, and stuff, and stuff. So I would, he's the exception of he can handle himself. You got to make sure you can handle yourself, because they're gonna throw perps in there to provoke you and to fight and everything else, and you gotta be able to handle yourself if you're gonna leave the country and you're in a foreign country. That maybe they don't like Americans and all this stuff. So be careful if you decide to leave the country. Is it the right decision? I don't know. I'm staying neutral on that. I don't know if it's the right decision or not, but I would not want to be in a foreign country with nobody there, and living on $1,000 a month. You gotta have money. You gotta have an emergency fund. You gotta have an emergency fund to escape the hostile environment if they put you in that. That's all I'm saying. Be careful out there. Don't just pick up and leave the country. You gotta have money to hop on a plane and go somewhere else. And that's all I'm saying. So you gotta prepare for this stuff, you guys. You can get in big trouble. You get stranded in a foreign country, you're in big trouble. There ain't nobody's gonna help you and bail you out. You gotta be prepared. You gotta be able to handle yourself. So anyway, that's what I'm talking about tonight. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this off, and New Year's is coming up. I'm gonna party on New Year's, and chill out a little bit, and I hope you guys do the same. And I'm gonna cut this off. I'll talk to you guys later.